Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. Happy Friday, it's January 31st. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Coming up, what do you know about the other California? A new program offers field trips for teachers to agricultural areas.
Our teachers, through these experiences in local sites, develop plans for future teaching that they then take to the classroom.
We'll hear about the program seeking to enrich understanding of the San Joaquin Valley's history, one teacher at a time. But first, today's headlines. 2 young girls who were allegedly abducted by their father from Kings County this week have been found. The Kings County Sheriff's Office said on Thursday that the 2- and 3-year-old girls were located safely at the U.S. border. The girls' father, 23-year-old Jonathan Alexis Maldonado Cruz, is accused of kidnapping them and crossing into Mexico. He surrendered to authorities this Thursday morning. Authorities say he's suspected of killing the mother of the girls in Hanford earlier in the week. President Donald Trump recently suspended the federal refugee admissions program. It was one of his many executive orders since taking office. Esther Quintanilla, with our news partner, the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, reports on how the suspension is impacting refugee communities in Fresno.
Trump's order halted applications and travel for thousands of refugees who were already approved to enter the country. 8 refugee families who were en route to Fresno had their flights canceled. Christine Barker of the Fresno Immigrant and Refugee Ministries, or FIRM, says it's unclear when those families can continue their process.
It's a huge tragedy for the families who have been waiting for their relatives to join them here.
FIRM is also currently prevented from providing resettlement services while the Trump administration reviews the program. Barker says the time lost will set her and the families she seeks to help back.
People need medical screenings now. Kids need to be in school now. People need to be moved into permanent housing now.
Barker says her organization is finding ways to continue its work while the federal government provides more clarity. With CBJC, I'm Esther Quintanilla.
2 people have died from the flu so far this season in Fresno County. The county's public health department reports that both were 65 or older. Health officials are asking everyone to get their updated flu vaccine to prevent severe illness. Across the state, flu has killed more than 400 people across all age groups since the current flu season began. A former police officer in Sanger has been convicted of sexual assault. A federal jury handed down the conviction against former officer J. Deshawn Torrance this week. According to prosecutors, Torrance was convicted on 8 counts that include kidnapping, aggravated sexual abuse, and bodily injury. An investigation found Torrance had sexually assaulted 4 women during his official duties as an officer. He was first charged in 2022. He'll be sentenced in May.
Looking for a way to support KVPR but can't write that big check at the moment? What about that old unwanted car in the driveway? Your vehicle donation could net hundreds of dollars for KVPR. It's easy. We'll tow it away free of charge, KVPR gets a check, and you'll get a receipt for your taxes. And we can take RVs, boats, and motorcycles too. Find out more at kvpr.org/cars or call 855-277-2346.
And now to our main story. California's San Joaquin Valley is known for its rich agricultural industry. The fruits, nuts, milk, and meat in our area feed the country. The people working the fields to harvest that food have a rich history of their own, and that's the focus of an upcoming teacher training program in Bakersfield. The program is called California Dreamin, Migration, Work, and Settlement in the Other California. It's a partnership between CSU Bakersfield and Bakersfield College. The goal is to educate teachers from across the country about the region's multicultural labor history. The hope is that by giving teachers a hands-on experience to learn about the area's history, they will in turn be better equipped to convey the region's history to their students. I spoke about California Dreamin with Adam Sawyer. He's one of its directors and also leads Cal State Bakersfield's Liberal Studies program. Here he is describing what participants can expect from the program.
So this is a 1 week immersive place-based experience for teachers across the country. We really range from really pre-K to 14, right, including community college instructors across the content areas and even modality. We've had many dual language teachers from both Texas and our local region as well who participated. But really, we're a partnership between Cal State Bakersfield and Bakersfield College. We house our out of town teachers at the CSUB campus at our dorms. And for a whole week, we have this great experience where we get to learn about this very rich cultural and historical legacy of migration and farm labor here in this region, which I think might be the most productive agricultural region in the history of humankind. Right. And it's also a place of really amazing stories because we look at this from a multi-ethnic, multiracial perspective, right? Americans stitched across time and space with different stories, but really some unified themes. And our teachers, through these experiences in local sites, develop plans for future teaching that they then take to the classroom.
I think that name, California Dreamin', obviously brings to mind that Mamas and Papas song and kind of connotes that California ideal of sunny beaches and surf. But you also note that this program is about the other California. So tell us what you mean by that and what you expect people from outside of this region to experience.
Sure. So we borrow that term, the other California, of course, from the late great writer Gerald Haslam, Valley writer Gerald Haslam. And what I love about the term the other California, it connotes a couple of different things, right? So one might be the sense of being overlooked, not being the California, say, of Hollywood or the Golden Gate Bridge or those other coastal spots. Maybe being overlooked, but also being unique and special, right? And we know this history here is one like no other, right, in the state of California that has left a unique historical and cultural legacy that draws the interest of these teachers really throughout the country and certainly also researchers, academics, and artists. And so I think that's that piece that we like to have, that duality of the term other California.
As you mentioned, the program specifically about our area's migrant agricultural labor history. So give us an idea of what makes our region unique when it comes to this topic.
Well, I can kind of maybe take you through some of the sites that we visit that really gives that sense. We begin the week by going up to the General Allensworth State Park, just up there, but just in the Tulare County. And this was the site, right, the colony of Black self-determination that had its heyday in the 1910s and 1920s. That allows us to learn about that place of African-American history, right, in our valley and how it connected to larger notions, Garvian notions of self-determination. Day two, right, we go to the Weed Patch Camp over in Arvin, Lamont area. Right. And of course, this is the place that was made timeless through Steinbeck's writing, right, where the Jodes first made their way into California. There we are hosted by the Dust Bowl Committee that takes us on firsthand. They take us in some of the original structures. So the original kitchens, kind of places where people slept, original meeting halls, and a lot of original paraphernalia from that time. And then we go up to Delano for day three, where we visit sites such as the Filipino Hall, the Larry Itliong mural, as well as 40 Acres, right, the original headquarters of the United Farm Workers. Our last major site that we go to is to La Paz in the National Chavez Monument. And we get hosted through the exhibits there by the National Park Service, as well as docents from the National Chavez Center, including Mark Grossman, who was Cesar Chavez's speechwriter. So it's those places, right? I think they give, there's different Americans, everything white to black to Latino to Asian Americans, and this experience of being brought here for a specific reason and contributing so much, but also having struggles that have also led to incredible legacies like the Bakersfield Sound, such as the contributions to the labor movement. And of course, this being the region it is in terms of its agricultural productivity.
And why do you think now is an important time to educate teachers more about the labor and civil rights movement, especially in our area? And I believe a lot of these teachers do teach younger students too, right? So kind of getting that in the curriculum, so to speak, earlier on.
Yeah, for so many reasons, right? I mean, there's this principle of constructivism that we have in learning, left to us by the great psychologist Lev Vygotsky. And really is this idea that one learns better when you have a personal connection to the content, a personal connection to the curriculum. And there's been theorists down the road, such as Gloria Ladson-Billings, Louise Moll, Django Paris, and others, right, who've talked to the importance from those from diverse cultural backgrounds, learning about the histories that relate to them. And I think that teachers bringing in this curriculum that connects to a local space makes learning so much more meaningful. And our teachers from other places will also find ways to connect that to themes that are resonant to their area.
So if a teacher is interested in this program, how can they apply? When's the deadline?
Yes, so it is a very competitive process. Last time we had twice the number of applicants that we could take. There's 36 in each session. Our sessions run from July 6th to July 11th, July 20th to the 25th. The deadline for this year is March 5th. And the application can be found at our website. If you just Google CSUB and California Dreamin', you won't be taken to the Mama and Papa song. What you'll be taken to is our website. And it's a pretty short and easy to fill out survey to apply. And we really encourage that local participation.
That was my conversation with Adam Sawyer. He's helping organize the California Dreamin' Project, a collaboration between Cal State Bakersfield and Bakersfield College. Sawyer says applications for California Dreamin' are open now, and local applicants will be given priority. Participants will receive a $1,300 stipend. And by the way, KVPR also has a podcast called The Other California. It has no relation to this project, but you might find it interesting. You can find it on our website, kvpr.org, or wherever you get your podcasts. And that's today's show. Today's episode was produced by Jonathan Linden and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
We could all use a little help navigating the news these days. The Consider This podcast wants to give you a hand. 6 days a week, we'll help you make sense of the day's biggest news story and what it means for you in less than 15 minutes. Listen now to the Consider This podcast from NPR.